story broke by Don Van Natta and Seth Wickersham last night. Bill Belichick snubbed. He did not get the votes needed to make the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. This despite winning a record 6 Super Bowls as a head coach of the Patriots and 2 as an assistant with the Giants. He's second all-time in wins behind Don Shula. Unsurprisingly, a lot of reaction to the news, starting with his former quarterback, Tom Brady.
I don't understand it. I mean, I was with him every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it. And he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play for. I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said. You know, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. In the end, I'm not worried about that. You know, and a lot of times in life, you know, for all of us, you know, things don't happen exactly how you want them on your timeline, but we'll all be there to celebrate him when it does happen.
I think this tarnishes everything in the Hall of Fame, all of the inductees, everybody in the Hall of Fame, just because of, you know, 10 or 11 or 12 ignorant, jealous who did not vote for him. If they're using the excuse of the Spygate, it is absolutely ridiculous. It just pissed me off that it wasn't a slam dunk, him going into the Hall of Fame.
As you can imagine, it was a hot topic on social media as well. As you can see, plenty of reaction there. We also have some thoughts on the Belichick news from our crew out at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Matt Berry anchors our coverage.
Not a first ballot Hall of Famer, courtesy of Seth Wickersham, doing a tweet on X earlier. He said, a stunner from Don Van Natta Jr. and me. Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He didn't get elected this year. The 8-time champion failed to get 40 out of the 50 votes required for induction. It's a disgrace. The Hall of Fame, if they don't correct this decision, this egregious error, this crime in sports parlance, the Hall of Fame shouldn't even matter anymore. Clearly, it's not about credentials. It's not about credentials. It's about being liked. It's about being massaged. It's about having your ass kissed. It's about things that don't have anything to do with results, which Bill Belichick has clearly produced. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an 8-time champion. He's an 8-time champion overall. 2 Super Bowl championships as a defensive coordinator. 6 Super Bowl championships as a head coach. Everybody wants to bring up Spygate and Deflategate. The man won 3 Super Bowls since then. He is universally recognized as one of, if not the greatest coach in the history of the sport. He's one of one. And to have him on the outside as a first ballot Hall of Famer, I thought it was a crime when T.O. wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer as a wide receiver, considering the fact that he retired with over 15,000 receiving yards and as one of the top 3 greatest wide receivers in the history of football. There's only 2 names that got mentioned before T.O., Terrell Owens. That was Jerry Rice and that was Randy Moss. Outside of that, you can't put anybody ahead of Terrell Owens. I thought that was a crime. I thought that was criminal. I thought that was egregious. But, I mean, this is taking the cake. The greatest coach in the history of football. 12 Super Bowl appearances overall. First all time. 31 postseason wins. First all time. 17 division titles. First all time. 8 combined Super Bowl wins. First all time. 3-time AP, Associated Press, Coach of the Year, tied for second with Don Shula. Tied for second behind Don Shula, who had 4. 333 wins, including the postseason. Second only to Don Shula. Won 65% of all of his games. The standard personified. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. that building might as well be burnt to ashes. It means nothing. To me, it should mean nothing to any of y'all. If you can't put Bill Belichick in as a first ballot Hall of Famer, who can you put in there? Who has his resume? Who's this person? Now, we're hearing reports, well, you know what? Bill Polian, who just embarrassed himself, and I got to look up his age. Griff, somebody look up his age for me, please. I think Bill Polian, the former executive with the Indianapolis Colts in Buffalo as well, I think he's about 80, 83. He's 83 years old. Listen to what I'm about to read to y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Over the airways of Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM right now. In an interview with ESPN on Tuesday night, that was last night, Polian denied telling fellow voters that Belichick should serve a one-year penance for Spygate. But he said he heard his fellow voters, quote-unquote, float the idea. But he insisted he didn't agree or disagree with the proposal. Polian said he voted for Kraft, meaning Robert Kraft, owner for the New England Patriots, all right? And even spoke up on his behalf during the deliberations, saying Kraft had no knowledge of the Spygate scheme. Polian added that he could not remember with 100% certainty if he voted for Belichick, saying he was 95% sure he voted for the coach and a player, most likely L.C. Greenwood. Quote, I was shocked to learn Bill didn't get in, Polian said. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Sit down. I'm going to be respectful to my elders. Sit down. Nobody should want to hear from Bill Polian. Here's the reason why. The votes just took place 2 weeks ago. You don't remember whether you voted for Bill Belichick or not? We're supposed to believe that 2 weeks ago you can't remember, you can't recall what your vote was. Now, you're saying you're 95% sure. Why not 100% sure? You're saying that he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame and you had a vote. So how come it can't be 100% sure? What the hell do you mean you don't recall? Sit down. Sit down. I'm being respectful to my elders, ladies and gentlemen. The man's 83 years of age. Sit down. We don't want to hear from you because you're clearly lying. You're clearly lying. The hell you mean you don't remember? Makes no sense whatsoever. By the way, as an aside, him supporting Robert Kraft, getting into the Hall of Fame, I am a friend of Robert Kraft, the owner for the New England Patriots. I love the man. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame already. If Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame with 3 Super Bowl rings, why the hell isn't Kraft in there as an owner with 6? It makes no sense whatsoever. Of course, Robert Kraft deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Let me just get that as an aside. Back to Bill Belichick. What possible excuse can you have? And this is where we get to the fourth estate. Let me be very, very clear. We're talking about Bill Belichick, right? Let us understand. Bill Belichick did not get voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility, falling short of the 40 out of 50 votes, 80% required for induction. It was his first appearance on a ballot following his exit from the NFL after the 2023 season. According, obviously, the outcome stunned the football world. Reached the Super Bowl 12 times. I already gave you the rest of the stats, okay? It is believed that at least 11 voters left him off their ballots entirely. Bill Belichick was described by people close to him as puzzled and disappointed when informed he had missed. Let me be very, very clear. I want names. I want faces. I want positions. I want the publication that they represent or work for. I don't give a damn who it is. I want to know who the hell it is. And I'm going to have somebody on at the top of hour number 2 who actually applauds this crime, this miscarriage of justice. All right? He didn't have a vote in determining whether Bill Belichick was going to be a Hall of Famer or not. But he's applauding those who are. And I can't wait to talk to him at the top of hour number 2. But for the purposes of this immediate discussion with this opening monologue, I want to know their names. I want to see their faces. I want them plastered up as mugshots. It is egregious. That makes no sense. What level of credibility does the Fourth Estate or any of the voters have? Former players and executives that have a vote, along with members of the media. Who the hell are you to keep Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame with his credentials? Who the hell are you? Where's the merit? Is it a meritocracy? Evidently not. Evidently, you could be the greatest ever, and because you're not liked, because you were a bit truculent or acerbic or dismissive of the media from time to time, that's grounds for not awarding you as a first ballot Hall of Famer, even though your resume was so impeccable that it can't be denied? There shouldn't even exist a Hall of Fame without Bill Belichick, if he's eligible to be in, which he is now. And let me also get this off my chest. If you're going to leave Bill Belichick out, and the excuse is stuff like Spygate from 2007 or so. By the way, the New England Patriots went undefeated that season afterwards. After all of that controversy about Spygate, they went undefeated during the regular season and went undefeated during the playoffs and lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants. That's an aside. What I'm saying is this. If you're going to leave Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame because of Spygate and inflated footballs like Deflategate or deflated footballs, what you going to do with Tom Brady? Who is going to show up with a straight face and keep Tom Brady out of the Hall of Fame? Is he next? He's a 7-time champion as a Super Bowl, as a coach, as a quarterback. He's a 7-time champion. You going to leave Tom Brady out of the Hall of Fame? We've been having conversations as to whether or not Eli Manning is going into the Hall of Fame, whether Phillip Rivers is going into the Hall of Fame. We already know that Peyton Manning is already there. Drew Brees is going in there. So are you going to keep Tom Brady out of the Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer? They'd burn the building down. The Hall of Fame would be reduced to ashes if that happened. You can't do that. But somehow, some way, you're going to keep Bill Belichick out, who coached him to those 6 Super Bowl championships, who oversaw the franchise, who made sure he had a defense and the special teams to support and buffer him, who ran football operations for the Patriots for the better part of the last 23 years. That same man that won 6 Super Bowl championships, that got to 9 Super Bowls, you're going to summarily dismiss him as a Hall of Famer? You should be ashamed of yourselves. And anybody who supports that should be ashamed of themselves. This is a crime. This is a miscarriage of justice in the world of sports. What are you going to do next? Going to keep Michael Jordan out of the Hall of Fame? That's what you're going to do? Not that you can now because he's already in. But you get my point. LeBron James, he ain't going to go to the Hall of Fame. Steph Curry ain't going to go to the Hall of Fame. Shohei Ohtani, he ain't going into the Hall of Fame someday. I mean, this is so bad, so awful, it's hard to put into words. I can't believe that I'm sitting up here having this discussion. I'm going to transition to some NBA stuff in just a second because I got my man Shams Charania, the ultimate NBA insider, coming on the show in just a couple of minutes. I got Gary Myers, who has a Hall of Fame vote, longtime outstanding columnist and insider on the National Football League, writing for various publications, including the New York Daily News at the time. He's coming on the show midway through hour number 1 to talk about this miscarriage of justice against Bill Belichick. There's a lot of stuff to get into, make no mistake about it. But I'm telling you, I had to start off the show, getting this off my chest. What a crime. And you're the fourth estate. You're any member of the media. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be embarrassed. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. This 888-623-3646. Transitioning to